Okay, so I have a little nugget to share with you guys, and that is I wish I had my husband is reading this book called Psycho-Cybernetics. It was a book that one of my business coaches actually recommended. And so he's been reading it and he is loving it. And there was a quote there that was talking about focusing on the small like wins. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, Matt, I'm like I did this all last year." And I had to and I was like, "I need to do this again." So I got to show you guys what it was, and I want to challenge you guys to do it too because it is easy as an entrepreneur to kind of like not see how far we've come and to um focus on evidence of like why it's not working or whatever. But this is something I started last year in 2024, and I started writing down all my wins. And there's like 74 wins. And what I consider a win is um not necessarily like getting the end result. It's not necessarily getting the sale or whatever. The win, the work is the win. And so anytime I tried something new or, stepped out of my comfort zone, I would write down my win. And it was really cool. It's really cool to look back and see like on, last year being like, oh, I, learned how to do Facebook ads, or I took a class or I tried a new software or whatever. And it was just cool to see all my progress over throughout the year. And there was a lot of wins I didn't even record. And so I think we need to start this. I want to challenge you guys to start. I started mine just barely yesterday for 2025 because I kind of had forgotten about that. And I have it pinned in my notes and it's small because I just started it yesterday. But there you go. Win already started it. There's your first win is you started your wins note. Because it's going to be so cool to look back on the year and be like, okay, this is how I was able to progress. And because I've noticed a pattern in my 23 years of of being a mompreneur is like it's really easy to just I don't know. You get discouraged, right? There's seasons. There's always seasons. Like we know fall is always better. We know the J months are always kind of harder, right? And so it's easy to get discouraged during the J months. And it's like, but we have to stay motivated, excited, encouraged, and having a wins note is a way to, it just shows your brain evidence of like how you're winning in your business because your brain has a negativity bias and it's always looking for evidence of what's not working and why it's not going to work out because it's scanning for danger, even though we don't live among tigers anymore. We don't, you know what I mean? And so it's really important for us to like keep literal evidence of like, look at, I'm winning and I have evidence like to show you that I'm winning in my business. Whether it's like, oh my gosh, I did, 5 reels in a row, or just like I sent a newsletter this week and I never send newsletters. Whatever it is, those are wins for you. And they're very encouraging to like see just those small baby steps of progress because a lot of it is baby steps. So that's my challenge for you. I mean, even being on this call right now is a win. Like you're showing up for yourself in your business. You're here, wanting to connect with our team and learn more. And so put that down. Like I showed up for this call or I listened to the replay. And so, yeah, so that is something I started. That's my win. My win this week is that I started a win note and I have it pinned and I'm just going to keep adding to it because it makes me feel like I am progressing. And I feel like when I feel like I'm progressing, I just feel more encouraged and like want to continue on, right? Instead of discouraged where we're like, what's the point, you know? Um, so yeah, there's my thought for that. Okay, Win said, my win is I've been posting stories and following up with anyone that watches. I've gotten new orders and new teammates by doing so. Oh my gosh, unmute yourself. I want to hear this method.
So I've been doing this for like both of my businesses because I do pharmacy too.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about it is you can see who watches your stories, right?
Hmm.
And I started thinking about it. Like I used to just never message anybody that had watched my stories. But then I started thinking about it. If somebody has watched your story, you didn't just like pop up in their feed. They clicked on your story because they want to know what's going on like with you or they were interested to see.
So
So,
true.
yeah, so like every morning before my stories disappear because they go away in 24 hours, I look
Mhm.
at who has viewed them and I just message them and I say, "Hey, thanks for boosting my algorithm by watching my stories. Like that means the world to me. I want you to know that if you need some suggestions or you want to take my nail quiz, I'm here for you." And I just keep it super simple like that. I'm not like, "Hey, I saw you were watching my stories. Here's my link."
Yeah.
you know?
It's not like super aggressive.
Right. And people are responding. And actually, I've had more than one person tell me, "Do you know that out of all of my Clio Color friends or my pharmacy friends, you're the only one that's reached out to me?"
Hmm.
So many have said that. At least, not so many, but at least two. And that feels like a lot.
Yeah. They're the two that are confessing, right? They're the two that are
Yeah.
actually admitting it. There's probably so many more.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's been people are like, "Yeah, actually, I have been wondering about it. Yeah, actually, I do want to check out your nail quiz or whatever." So,
Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Okay, say that again. You said, "Hey, thanks for watching my stories."
yeah, and
Wait,
boosting my
actually say it again.
algorithm.
Say it again and I'm gonna turn on my microphone. Did you guys know you can do this? You can like play something on your computer, turn on the mic, and it will take notes for you.
That's awesome.
Okay, so you're gonna say it again and this is literally gonna type it up. Okay.
Hey, thanks for watching my stories and boosting my algorithm. That means the world to me. I just want to let you know that I'm here for you if you have any questions or you want to check out my nail quiz.
Love it. That's so good.
Yeah.
Any of us can do that. That is something that I'm going to focus on more this month is like I even bought some notebooks, like writing down names and like just getting in the DMs, getting in Messenger, by the way. Can you can there's no way you cannot notice my nails. Like they look so good. These are the fluorescent I forgot the name. They're like the electric yellow chrome gel LEDs and they're insane. I'm like blown away how vibrant they are. I just had to show them off because I'm like, I just love my nails. Okay. Anyway, but I bought some notebooks on Amazon because I want to like literally start like writing down names and following up with people and just getting really intentional in Messenger, in the DMs. So this is a great idea, Win. Thanks for sharing that. And that's like anytime, I think anytime you message anyone that should be its own win right there.
Yeah, and I will say like sometimes all I'm doing is talking about my life. It's not always like I'll be doing my makeup or skincare or putting on nails or whatever and
Yeah.
not talking about the product. I'm just talking about my life.
Yeah. Which is what people like anyway. They want the reality show, not the commercial, you know? So that's a great tip. I think anytime you do a talking head, that's something I gotta do a little better. It's really easy to do a picture. It's really easy to do like a video where my face isn't showing, but I need to like talk more. So great reminders, Win. I love this. Um, okay, so we talked about wins. Okay, here's what I wanted to talk to you guys about regarding my training today. Because I was like, how can I know summer's crazy? I know that it's so busy. Life is definitely gets in the way in the summer. Kids are home from school. There's vacations, there's reunions, there's traveling, there's, you know, other things. There's like going outside and and so it's a little harder to work your business, I feel like. but I was like, how can we make it more fun and like intentional? And I'm going to share that, but first I want to comment. I want to read Brandy's comment. She said, I made a list of people watching and placing hearts on my posts and lives. That way I can follow up. Oh, that's a great idea too. Yeah. Okay. So here was my idea for making it even more fun in working your business. And I'm actually gonna show you a video to explain this because she explains it so well. So give me 1 second to show you this video. This is one of my friends who is really big in another company. Um, she was like a top saint leader, like making 7 figures. So she's got some good, she's one to listen to for sure. So let me share my screen so you guys can see this little reel that she made that was like an awesome tip that I want to try. I want all of us to try. So hang on, I'm trying to find the share button. It's like always changes. Okay, there it is. If my screen's not big enough, it doesn't work. Okay, I'm gonna show you via cable. Tell me when you guys can see my page. Can you see my phone yet? I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on. Oh, maybe I had to click allow. Okay, sorry. Give me a sec. I think I'm there, almost should be there soon. Now it's there. Okay. All right. Tell me, can you guys hear the sound too? I'm gonna turn up the volume. Why is it not playing loud?
Tell a mentor, friend,
Okay.
family.
Can you hear it?
What are these sticky notes for?
Okay.
This is a sticky note wall. It's a super effective way to help people reach their goals. Knows you can't hit a target you can't see. You map out your goal, you divide it up into manageable bite-sized pieces, which you'd write on sticky notes and stick up on a wall in a central place in your house. Put it where everybody can see it so that you have plenty of accountability. And after you make your wall, make sure and tell a mentor, friend, family, or the whole world on social media what you're up to help keep you accountable. This added accountability will help you stay focused and it'll help you be more motivated to reach your goal. When you sell or get closer to your goal, remove one of the squares and watch as you slowly take off every single square until the entire wall is gone. Be sure to keep your friends updated on your progress. Don't forget to get your family involved. They're going to want to help you too. I'm Amanda Ernest, and I've been doing direct sales and leading teams for 10 years. And this is one of the best things that we do to help our ladies reach their goals. Try the sticky note wall. Let me know how it goes.
Okay. So what we're gonna make is, I'm sure you guys have heard of people making a summer bucket list, right? Well, we are going to make a business bucket list. And basically, and it has to be your own idea. Like it's got to be stuff that you want to do, not stuff that I tell you to do. But all you need is post-it notes. So hopefully you have some of those. If not, you literally could get a piece of paper and write it down, like, or your notes on your phone. So no excuses if you don't have post-it notes. But what we're gonna do, and it's not necessarily, I don't want it to be results focused. I want it to be work focused, kind of like what we were saying about the wins. It's not the results because we can't always control the results, right? I can't control if somebody decides to buy, but I can control if I personally message them. And so I was like, okay, what if we made like a fun June, business bucket list for ourselves and just wrote down like, what are some things I want to try in my business this month? Because if you don't have a goal, then it's like, what are you working towards, right? And so I thought we could brainstorm some ideas of things that you want to try this month, and let's do it together. Let's make our own summer bucket list of things you want to try and in your business that maybe you haven't tried before, or maybe that you have and that's worked well in the past. And then you're gonna like, for me, I'm such a visual person. I do want it to be a post-it note right here next on my wall so that it's kind of staring back at me. And so that when I do it, I have the satisfaction of like peeling it off my wall. But you can do it however you want, like whatever works for you. I do think visually though, it's powerful to have like a visual where it can be seen, even where your family can see it. You can even share this with your VIPs, whatever you want. So let's start writing down some of the things that you want to try in your business. So Wynn said, I want to try for more referrals. I made a boards page I want people to share. Okay. How does that work, Wynn?
So, let me just show you guys and I'll see if I can figure out. Let me see. I'll share the link to my little boards thing too. I just have to like text it to myself from my phone and then I can copy and paste it to share here. But okay. So let me open it maybe from my phone. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it very well, but Boards has this ability to you can make like basically like a scrolling link.
Mm.
So it's like all about Clio color, and I have like little videos in there for like application and removal and fun styles and just like and fun stuff. And I have like a link, take the nail quiz. And then at the end, I have a thing about like guess how many nails is at the end, and people have to give their email address in order to get entry to win like, a coupon.
Love
Um,
that. It's a
so
great
that
way to
way not
build your
only
email list.
yeah, that way I'm getting people on the list. But so I figured this is a great way to like have people who are loving the nails just share that to their friends so they don't have to have a party or anything. But I just haven't been super good yet about getting people to share it.
Yeah.
But I've been using it for people that like say I've been talking to who I messaged because of one of my Facebook stories. And they have, and if maybe they don't know anything about Clio at all, I send them that
Okay.
and they can click right on it to shop and everything. And it was super easy to build.
That's cool. So, and I bet you could make something similar in Canva if you guys wanted, if you're
Yeah.
not familiar with boards. But yeah, just a scrolling thing that kind of explains how it works. I love that.
Yeah. And you can actually, I guess, use other people's boards page as a template too.
Okay.
I don't know how to
Yeah. Oh
share
yeah,
that
that's
yet,
interesting.
but
Okay. Well, if you figure that one out, let us know.
yeah.
Um, okay, I love that. I mean, that's the thing is like you have to be willing to try new things because you never know what's going to stick, like what's going to work. Because you might try this and be like, okay, this worked really well, or you might try it and be like, ah, it didn't quite work, you know? Um, oh, awesome. Thanks. You just shared the link with us. So I love that. And then Lou just commented and said, I need to learn boards. So Lou, put that as a sticky note, put that as one of your bucket list items. Maybe it's like, I'm going to spend, don't just say I need to learn boards because that's way too vague. That's not something you can be like, check, I did it. Because we could learn about boards for the rest of our lives, right? There's so many complex things about every software. But what if you said, I'm going to like spend 1 hour learning about boards? And that way, when you've done it, you can be like, yay, I just did my business bucket list item. Um, for me, I have one where I want to do one event, whether it's either an open house or a vendor event, which I was joking. In Cabo, I was like, I used to hate doing events, like never ever wanted to do vendor events or anything. And now I'm like, my Grinch heart is like growing a little bigger to the idea of doing a vendor event. And so, because there's some fun like there's some fun like vintage markets here that I'm like, well, that could be fun. So that is, or an open house. So this is something I'm gonna try this month, one event. So I'm putting that up, which means I've got to like book the event. I'm actually gonna write book the event too, because that's part of the process, right? You can't have an event unless you book it or invite people. So that's going on there. Stick it on real nice. What else? Brandy said, yes, events. I need to find or create some since I always work on weekends. I miss them all. Yeah, I mean, like even an open house, you guys. I know people who've done like driveway sales where they're like, hey, they just post in their neighborhood and they're like, hey, I've got all my nails out. I'm chilling on the driveway while my kids play. If you want to come check them out, I'll be here from 1 to 3 or whatever. So, I think it doesn't have to be like this super big party, like fancy party. You don't even need to get food if you don't want to. Um, Hopefully my internet's okay. It's saying it's unstable. Even like some of the ones I've thought of is like doing like a mother-daughter Manny open house or just doing a regular open house where it's like anyone could come on a Saturday from these hours to these, for 2 hours. Come check them out, try them, see if you like them. Um, so that is something I'm gonna do, which means I gotta get that scheduled ASAP because summer is crazy pants. And if I don't get it on the calendar, my calendar is already so full right now. So I'm gonna make sure to schedule the event. Let's see what else. I saw someone else comment and say something. Okay, Wynn said I want to make sure I'm creating one reel a week. That is fun. Elaborate on that reel. What do you mean by fun? Is it about the Mannies? Is it about
Well, just like it might just, how just when you're on Instagram and there'll be like just a reel that catches your attention because it's like
Mhm.
funny or fun or like I don't know, just like captures your attention.
Uh-huh.
And so I just want to make sure that I'm more intentional in the reels that I make,
Yeah.
and that it's fun.
Yes, I love that. Um, I love that because sometimes we take Instagram and Facebook too seriously. It's like if you're having fun, I always say if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. If you're having fun, it makes work not feel like work. That's why I'm trying to make this be like, oh, this is a fun bucket list. This is not like a chore. Like we want it to be almost like a challenge. Like, can I do the things on this list? And then by the end of the month, hopefully we have an empty wall because we peeled off all the post-it notes. So I love that. I love that win. One of mine is to go live doing my nails. So, and I try to go once a week. So that means there are 4 weeks in the month. So I'm going to make 4 of these. That way, every time I do it, I can peel it off. So I got go live doing my nails. So there's one. I'm going to make 3 of these. Um, 3 because I already went live once this week and did my nails. I did these nails. You guys can go watch it if you want. Because I was talking a lot about my best tips for making for doing LED gels. So if there's something you want to do weekly, um, then make sure you write it down like 4 times. So another one that I'm going to write down 4 times is send a nail newsletter. And so and you guys, there's no excuses. Like we are literally giving you Flowdesk templates that you can like copy and send out. And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember who it was, one of you guys said that you don't even have to have like pay for Flowdesk to use the templates that we share. So like the leaders are always sharing. I shared one just barely in Shine Squad. I know some of the other leaders have shared their Flowdesk templates. So there's really no excuses. It is so easy when someone else makes a template. You just go in and add your link. Obviously, you want to make sure you add your link because you don't want it to be their link. And go add your pictures, but it will take you maybe 10 minutes and you can email anyone that's ever bought from you, whether it be through Clio Color or any other business in the past, and send out a newsletter once a week. I try to do mine on Manny Monday, but it doesn't always happen. So I got to make 4 of those, and I already sent one, so I'm actually making 3. By the way, we have there is this sale, the $10 sale. Did you guys see that? It is starting today and it goes through the 8th. So this is a really good time a um to make a newsletter and tell people about the $10 sale because like that's such a freaking good deal. And here's an idea for your reel. Today is National Donut Day. And if you guys are following the Clio like daily the planner items, which I post in Shine Squad as well, um today it was talking about like go buy a donut at the store and show your nails. I'm gonna do a reel that says something like, "Do not miss out on this sale. Don't miss out on this sale." That's what I'm gonna do. Feel free to copy me. So just like having fun with it. You can use some of these fun national holidays like National Donut Day, and yeah. So I gotta finish writing my send a nail newsletter. Because I mean, you guys imagine if you are doing one live a week, which by the way, my lives turn into YouTube videos. So not only is it a live, but I share it to my VIP group. I download it, post it as a YouTube video. If you're doing that, if you're doing a nail newsletter, like if you're doing that every week, people are going to start to they're going to start to think of you as the Clio nail girl. Like they're going to start to remember. They're going to start to buy from you. And sometimes it takes several times for them to do that. To like see you talking about the nails. I was just talking to one of my friends and she's like, Kelly, I've noticed you talk a lot about the opportunity, but you don't talk as much about the nails, at least in my feed. And I'm like I feel like I talk about the nails all the time, but she says I'm not seeing it in her feed. So I'm like, all right, I guess I need to talk about the nails more. So okay, I've got my newsletter, I've got my go live and do nails. I'm talking about live on your personal wall. You guys challenge yourself, push yourself out of your comfort zone. What are some other things that you guys want to try this month? Let's see. Okay, I think I got my newsletters, I got my lives, I've got my event. What are some other things you guys want to try? Okay, Wynn said doing the daily planner tasks. I love that. I mean, you could even just say like, I want to do the daily planner tasks 10 times this month. So that's 10 post-it notes you put up there. I know the daily planner tasks are like so freaking good. There's so many good ideas from it. Because sometimes it's hard when you sit down to work, you're like, I don't know what to do, but they have some really good ideas. Okay, Win said create a share cart every week and message to 10 people. Oh my gosh, I love that. Love, love, love that. Um,
I just wanted to say doing the whole donut challenge sounds like a really good excuse to go get a donut.
that's what I'm saying, girl. See, when you make it fun, it's like, that's not work. I gotta go get a donut. I gotta go get a donut for work.
Ah.
I was like, oh, it's donut day. I gotta go take my son for donut. Like, bring your kid, make it a date. Um, okay, so message 10 people, a share cart. That's brilliant. And you could either make this be one post-it note or 10, whatever you want. If it's more satisfying to peel off 10, do it. You can even get these smaller. Oh yeah, you could even get these smaller post-its if that works better for you. Oh, I have one too. I mean, you can even think of things if you have a team, what do you want to do to help your team? For me, I want to send a text with my Calendly to invite them on a call. A one-on-one call. So I got to do that. This is going to be so satisfying when you guys do these things. It's like better than a checklist because you literally get to peel it off the wall. Brandy said, I'm sneaking to Costco before work and totally getting donuts. I know. You guys, I wish when I lived in Utah, they had this place that had, they were called Cowboy Donuts and they were like this big. And I'm like, where are those? I need a giant cowboy donut that's like huge. Like there needs to be more places that have giant head-sized donuts. Okay. Brandy said, I need to practice making more videos so I can create reels. So, Brandy, let's make that more specific so that you can peel it off. Because that one is like a little bit vague. So maybe you say, I practice making one video that I can turn into a reel, whatever that is. Um, Shoot, one of my post-it notes just fell off the wall. I have like one of those popcorn walls. It's not sticking, or it's not popcorn, but it's like textured, so it's not sticking very well. We'll see. I might need to relocate these post-it notes. Yeah, Win said record content every time you do your nails. Totally. Even if you're not going live, just stick your phone. If you have like a mug like this is the mug we got at Cabo. It says Team Rise, has my name on it. If you have like any sort of tumbler like this, get your phone. This is the perfect tripod. Here's my tip. And you just lean it against this and then do your nails. So, yeah, and just set it there and do your nails, do your toenails, whatever it is. Wynn said, I love having a B-roll video content so I can use the video clips when I have time, when I don't have time to create content. That is what I do too, Wynn. I have a whole album full of video clips of me in case I just want to be like, and in fact, I have drafts. Let me show you guys. Dang it, my post-its are falling. I'm going to show you guys some drafts I have in my reels. Like, if you can see here, there's somewhere I'm like holding my nails. Here's another one of my nails. Like, anytime I need to do a nail video, they are ready to go in my drafts. So start creating a collection of even just you going like this and smiling, that your reels can be 3 seconds long. My shorter reels do better anyways. So it can just be like a smile in this, or it can be just your hand. Like you can do the hand thing where it's like, here's this, and then you flip it over and you show this side. It doesn't have to be rocket science. It can be a 3 second reel of your hand, and that's it with music and saying like, don't miss this sale or new nails, who dis, whatever you want. Um, just start collecting, make an album or a draft of all those. I probably have 200 videos in my B-roll album. Wynn said, I record myself walking, dancing, looking up at the sky, random stuff. Exactly. That's exactly what's in my B-roll. And it's so nice because there's days where you're like, dude, I'm so busy, or I look haggard, or and you just don't want to create content. It's nice to already have some content that you can use when you don't. And not just nails, like what Wynn's saying, not just nails. So I, especially like when I'm on vacation, you guys, there's so many moments and you have to be a little bit, I'm trying to pull up my B-roll album. You have to be a little bit shameless and just be like, hey, hun, can you record a video? Like ask your husband, ask your friend, hey, can you record a video clip of me walking or swinging or whatever? And it feels silly, but you'll be thanking yourself later on those days when you don't want to. Okay, here's my B-roll. 259 videos of me just doing random crap. So start making your B-roll album. Okay, any other ideas that you guys have? And there's tons of ideas on the daily planner. So I actually love the idea of like do the daily planner, like make a bunch of those. So you're like, hey, I did a daily planner. Maybe one of them is I want to do a power hour with a friend, with a Clio friend. Like I want to hop on, actually power half hour. We'll start small. Do a power half hour with a Clio friend. Because then you're both like working together, coming up with ideas. So that's going on the wall. It needs to not, I gotta make it not be on my wall. It's falling off already. Um, okay, do the daily planner. That's going up here. What else? Any other ideas? I think you guys get the gist, but I really want to challenge you guys to do at least like 20 post-its because then you can be like, okay, I worked my business. I did my business bucket list and not be so focused on the end result, but know that like I showed up for my business and that is going to be a huge confidence boost for you, even if you don't get the sales you want or the group volume you want or the recruits you want. You'll know you showed up for your business in the way that you were intentional. Okay, the other thing we're going to talk about is the charisma video I had you guys watch. Did anybody watch it? Anyone have time to watch it? Even like a few minutes of it. Okay, when you did, yay! It's so good. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I only asked you guys to watch like 10 minutes of it, but if you can watch the whole thing, I'm telling you, the charisma skills are like you're going to use in every situation in your entire life. So, Wynn said I watched 11 minutes. If you have time, watch the whole thing. I've watched 2 hours. I still have 15 minutes left to watch. I just couldn't stop. I was like, this is so fascinating. It is so fascinating because he's talking about how charisma is something that's going to get you so much farther in life than, everyone thinks it's like, oh, it's like it's your education, it's your like it's what you know, it's all this and it's like, yes, that helps, but honestly, you can get so freaking far in life with just these charisma skills, these people skills. And I've always believed that. I told my kids, I'm like, yeah, like I wanted my kids to have street smarts, which I believe that charisma is a street smart skill. Because if you have charisma and you have people skills, you can sell anything, you can make lots of friends and network and work your way up in any job. So I'm going to share some of my notes from it. Or do you want to go first, Win? What were some of your notes from your 11 minutes? I don't know if you took notes, but any takeaways you have?
I didn't take notes. I was just like listening, but I thought that it was like powerful to think about how people perceive you, like that you're expressing confidence when you talk to people. I think that just like showing up confident goes a really long way. Maybe even if you're like on the inside, you might be like feeling insecure or comparing yourself to others
Totally.
or like beating yourself up. Like this is me talking. These are things I do. Um
You're not alone, girl. We all do this.
Yeah, but like when I just stuff that aside and I just show up with confidence, like even in my videos and my reels that I make and stuff like that, I try to just like talk like I'm talking to my best friends. And I think that if you are just really free and open in who you are and you show up as the like confident person that you want to be, people naturally like see that and are attracted to that and they want to be a part of that.
Yes, it's so true. I remember as a teenager just telling myself, fake it till you make it. And some people don't like that phrase, but for me, it helped me sort of act like the person I wanted to become. And I wanted to be more confident and like faking it till I made it helped me because we don't always feel confident in every situation, right? We don't always, or like when we're messaging people, we're like, ah, this feels scary. There's been lots of posts where I joke that I have to post and run away because I'm like, ah, I can't believe I put that on the internet. Like it was vulnerable or it was like goofy or it was cringy or whatever. And so yeah, we're often faking it a lot of the time. But when you show up with, just with a little bit more conviction in and confidence, like people believe you, you know? Um, and in fact, he shared at the end of the video. He shared 6 types of charisma. I'm going to share them with you guys. So one was high conviction. And you could focus on one or all of these. Um, and maybe you have one, maybe you have a couple of these, you know. But he said high conviction is one type of charisma where it's like you have a solid belief in whatever it is you believe in. You say things like you speak with conviction, you speak with power, like with boldness, like even the way that I'm talking, like with a kind of like with a period, like this is how it is. You know, it's like a firm, it's like when my mom used to yell at me, she wouldn't yell, she would just be firm. She'd be like, do not do that. You know what I mean? When we show up with high conviction, that's charisma. People believe us. When we show up with the other one is authentic. That's another type of charisma. When we show up authentic and we're like, this is just how I am. This is how I am. Take it or leave it. That's charisma. I think you do that well, Win, by the way. And people love you for it. Literally, when you did a training for us, everyone in the comment was like, "Oh my gosh, I love her. She's so cute. She's so fun." Like, because you were just you. And then the third one was energetic. I think this is something I do well. Just showing up with high vibes, just like I'm excited. Let's go. That one's pretty easy to, I would say that one's pretty easy to implement. He said literally you just show up 2 degrees higher than someone would expect, which means, and I've noticed in some of my videos, I'll show up, there'll be some live videos where I'm like, hey, what's up? And my voice is kind of lower. And I'm like, that's kind of, it's a little more monotone. But when I show up and I'm like, hello, hi, how are you? It feels kind of cringy, but watching it back, it's way more fun to watch than like, hey, what's up? Right? Can you tell the difference? So you almost are, your voice almost goes a little higher too when you show up energetically. And you just show up like a little more excited, a little louder, a little higher. The other one was funny. Show up funny. And maybe that's just, and maybe they're not naturally funny and that's okay. But even just like playful, silly, like whatever. The other one was empathetic, where you help others feel seen. My daughter's really good at this. She meets people and they would tell her whole life because they feel like she is a safe space to talk to. And so just being a good listener and being like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's so frustrating. Just like validating people, mirroring what they're saying. That is a way to show up as empathetic. And then I can't remember what the other one is. I wrote energetic twice. There was one more. Dang it. Now I got to go back and watch. Or maybe there were only 5. There might have only been 5. Um, but I thought those were really fascinating skills. And he was talking about, so the guy that was interviewing him was like, could you have all 5? And he's like, if you had all 5, look out, world. Look out, world. He said there are, there's some few characters and even like presidents. He was talking about like Obama. He said like Obama has a lot of these characteristics. And he was talking about a lot of different presidents and how they have a lot of these skills and they rose to the top because of charisma. I mean, yes, they had other things. They had other skills, they had the money, they had, right? But like a lot of it was charisma. And so I'm going to share a couple of my other takeaways. And if you guys watched it, please write yours in the chat. He said, first impressions, how to do well in a first impression was, he said, to be fun. He said to be playful. He said when someone asks, how are you? He said to any answer that is different than like fine or good is fun. If you're like, I'm fantastic or I'm pretty darn good, people are kind of like, oh, like people like to be surprised. And when you give it an answer that is like, even if you're like, maybe you're awful, you're like, I'm doing horribly. How are you? People be like, wait, what? Tell me more. If you can like take it up a notch, in your response, it's going to open up a conversation. The other thing is he said trust and respect. Those were all things that to do for having making a good first impression. He said for trust, don't name drop. Don't try to sell people when you first meet them. For respect, he said go first. Be the first person to compliment, the first person to make a joke, the first person to be vulnerable. I thought that was fascinating because, and I noticed this when I was in Cabo, people were when someone was like, well, actually, here's what's really going on in my life. It was like it opened up the floor for the rest of us to be vulnerable and be like, really? Me too, Um, another thing he said was to flirt with the world. I thought that was funny. Flirt with the world. He's like, practice when you're at the store, practice when you're in the elevator, practice your charisma skills with strangers. And then you'll get even better when you are at a vendor event, when you are, just like on social media, when you're practicing with the whole world, you're going to get better at these skills. Another couple of fascinating things he said was regarding, this was really fascinating. He talked about predator versus prey. And he said that animals instinctively, if they are a predator, they move slowly. Think of a lion, they walk slowly. He said bunnies are like, kind of like nervous, have nervous energy. And he said for you, when you meet someone, to have go be slow. Like you don't need to be like talking too fast or like fidgeting or whatever, to like go slow, like be chill, because that shows um more confidence. And something else that he didn't mention in this podcast, but I've been following this guy for years. He has a YouTube channel called Charisma on Command. So good. So freaking good. You'll learn so many people skills. One of them was he said, when you are with other people, he's like, take up space. He's like, you'll notice people that are like, hey, what's up? They kind of dominate the room, like when they're like, what's going on? Like he said, when you take up space, you show that you show more of a position of power than someone who's like, right? When we like kind of shrink. So don't be afraid to take up space. And then here's his 6 rules of charisma, and we'll end on this. I loved these, and I thought we should have our own rules of whatever. Like you make your own like rules of or affirmations of what you live by. But I loved these. These were his 6 rules of charisma. One was, I'll be okay no matter what. Meaning, I'll be okay even if this interaction is awkward. I'll be okay even if they don't like me. I'll be okay even if they reject me or don't buy from me, right? That is having confidence, is knowing like, I'm gonna be fine. Like, I'm okay with me. Um, he said character over reputation, meaning you care more about being authentic and, holding up your own standards than you care about what other people think of you. Number 3 was I have impeccable integrity and honesty. And he even talked about regarding honesty, that means speaking up when you don't like, instead of just being quiet, like speaking up when you're like, actually, I kind of disagree with you, or, things like that. In doing it in obviously a respectful way, but he's like, that is being more authentic to you. It's like being, the word in integrity basically means being integrated, like with yourself, you know? People talk a lot about alignment, being aligned with yourself. And I think having integrity is like showing up as yourself. And anyway, so I thought that was interesting. The other thing he said is the fourth rule was I don't need to convince anyone of anything. I loved that. We don't need to like convince anyone of our politics, of our religion, of like buy my nails, like because I think that comes off as aggressive or even like desperate. trying to convince someone else of where we're coming from, to me has like a little bit of desperate vibes. And he's like, have an invitational energy instead, where you're like, I mean, you can come, you can join me on this Cleo color journey, but it's not like you're desperate, like, girl, why don't you join me? You know what I mean? There's a different energy when you're like invitational versus trying to convince someone. Um, and then the fifth rule was I proactively share my purpose. I loved this one. He said, share the things you care most deeply about. So even saying like, even sharing like with your VIPs, this is what I'm working towards. These are some of my goals here, you guys. Maybe you're like, I want to get like I want to reach out to 10 of you and get a sale or whatever. Sharing your goals, or when you're in conversations, if you're super passionate about, like for me, I'm passionate about mental health, bringing that up with other people. I'm passionate about mindset, like bringing that up in conversations, because that's how you're going to feel more connected to others. It's because you're like, we just talked about something I'm really passionate about. Um, and he said they were talking about manifesting on this same note, and he was like, I think manifesting in the right way is having the energy, intent, and request for support behind the things that are most important to you. So if your goals are, if you're really trying to make money to feed your kids, like sharing that energy, that intent, asking for support, like people will support you when they know your why. And then the final rule, number 6, was I go first in humanizing the interaction. And that goes back to what he said about being the first to compliment, being the first to be vulnerable, because that makes people feel like a little more safe, a little more at ease to be grateful and also to be vulnerable. So it was really, really freaking good. Definitely watch some of it, if not all of it, because I'm telling you, charisma skills is like, I was like telling my husband, I'm like, you gotta watch this. I literally told my kids, I'm like, I will pay you to watch this. I bribe my kids to watch personal growth videos because I'm like, to me, though, that's what's gonna get them farther than like even some of, you know, even like schooling sometimes, to be completely honest. Wynn said, I can't stop looking at your nails. I need to put on this set. I know it's like so vibrant. It's like glow in the dark. I feel like it's like a glow in the dark. Yeah, you definitely need to put this set on. I can't remember the name of it. I got it. It's nowhere near. But anyways, it's the yellow electric LED set that I can, Ray of Sunshine. Yes, that's the set. So focus on maybe this week, like maybe put that as a post-it note. I'm gonna go watch this charisma video as like something that you do, because I'm telling you, when you have those sales skills, I mean, charisma and sales go hand in hand. I truly believe it, because you're learning people skills, you're learning to connect, you're learning to build a relationship, you're learning what what pulls people into you. And I feel like that is what has helped me over the years to, is just learning some of these people skills from watching videos, from reading books and things like that. So, anyways, this has been a fun chat. Thanks so much for hopping on, you guys. I always am so grateful to have you join, and I love learning from you all. So thanks for sharing some of the things you're learning too. And we'll see you guys next week. I'm going to do a poll because I might want to do the calls 1 hour earlier in the summer, because I know summer's crazy. So I'm going to do a poll in the Shine Squad and see what y'all vote for. But we're still going to do it every Friday, so as long as I'm in town. So put it on your calendar, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.